welcome back to the second ever devlog for Alone I Rise. After this one, we'll be swapping over to a monthly upload schedule as we find our footing and figure out how we want to do things. All that aside, I hope you can all sit back, relax, and enjoy what our team has to share this time.
Hi, this is Canon D from Ravenous. Let me walk you through what we have done so far for the month 2 for the development side. So let's launch the game, and so basically we worked on the polishing of the combat and integrated items and pickables from this randomly spawning chest. So at the moment I cannot attack, as you see, because I don't have a weapon in my hand. So the chest gave me a snowball. I can attack with some ice shards, ice projectiles. So these items all have their unique features, so to say. So the attack, VFX, and the projectile, and also the hit react. In case of the snowball, basically, and let's try if I can get a firewall. Yes. I still need to drop the previous weapon. This is still under implementation, but now I have the firewall in my hands, and you see its unique attack here. Also with its hit react VFX. And also what we have implemented is an inventory component, which shows the items I picked as icons. These icons are also in the database of the items, which I will show in a second. But if I keep on adding more items to the stack here, there you can see as the inventory just grows, the inventory will still be polished. For example, I will rather have a number of 4 instead of 4 times the icon of the snowball and so on. And stuff like this. Health potions and armors and all of the stuff are going to be extended. This inventory menu itself will also be extended probably. We have in mind some inventory part that also shows the body parts like arms, armor, chest armor, helm and shield maybe, yeah, stuff like this, based on the character. And yeah, so let me show you the database I was talking about. So this is the one. We did it like this, so the non-developers can also extend this item database without changing the code. Here you can see the item ID, the description, display name, the cost, cooldown. And the cool thing is that we can really implement independently of the code the item scene. So for example, we can do the firewall here with a mesh, with the VFX. The VFX artist can work on that and then completely implement it independent from the code. And then they can just add it to the scene, to the database as a scene. The attack VFX, the hit reaction VFX, and the icon all there. Currently we are extending this list, as I said. Right now we have a functional firewall and snowball. The VFX still needs to be polished, but we are also working on the functionality of the earth ball. Now, just to show you that, I will just fix this number to 2 so the chest always spawns the earth ball. And here you can see it's a bit bigger then, and its icon here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, the scenes normally look like this. Some of them, like the fireball, has its own VFX. This is embedded to the item because it kind of makes sense that when the fireball is floating out of the chest, floating on the ground, that this flame is sparkling. Maybe we will think of the ice ball. Similar VFX, kind of, why not? Yeah, and now what we are working on for continuing the month 2 and transition to month 3, I will work mostly on completing the looting system, plus I will implement some procedural generation of the level, which I think it will take a little bit more than a month, maybe. That I need to collaborate with our level designer and see how far that goes. But yeah, pretty interesting stuff ahead, and keep tuned for updates. Thank you.
Hi, I am Kaze. I'm an AI programmer for Ravenous, and I'll be implementing the AI systems for enemies in Alone I Rise. Until now, we have created a base state machine and a basic projectile attack. So let's just see how the enemy behaves inside the game. But before that, just to give a quick overview, uh, you could see different colors of lines here. The green globe represents the vision radius of the enemy. The red lines represent the vision cone or the vision angle of the enemy, and the yellow line is the raycast. Now the enemy can't see us because the wall blocks it off. So let's just go into vision. Yeah, let's just try to get out of the vision radius. Let's see what happens. You see, the enemy went to the blue point, the blue spear, and it goes back to the original position. So this blue point represents where the enemy last saw us within its vision radius. So what happens is the enemy is idle, and if we are in range, if we are in range, we are within the vision angle, and there are no obstacles between us and the enemy. It will chase us, and uh, if we go out of the vision radius, it will track the position where it last saw us. It will search there, and if there is no one, then it will go back to its original position. Or let's say if we are within its attacking radius. If it's within attacking range, it will attack us. And yeah, uh, that's about it. Uh, so let's see behind the scenes what's happening. Our base enemy uh, has like three components, which comprises the AI system, which is the vision ray. This is the raycast component, the perception component, and the AI controller. These three comprise the whole AI system as of now. Now, let's look at the code. This is the code for the perception component, and what this component does is that it allows the enemy to check the visibility of the player, and it uses a check site function to do that. So within the check site function, it checks whether the player is within the enemy radius. It checks whether the player is within the enemy field of vision. Then it also checks whether the enemy raycast is hitting the player. If all these criteria are met, then a signal is emitted to the AI controller. Then there is also a case like if the player during chase steps out of the enemy view radius, then a timer starts, and if no player is spotted till then a target loss signal is sent to the AI controller. The AI controller, as of now, comprises of four states: idle, chase, search, and return. The enemy starts in idle, then on signal, it changes to a chase state where it chases the player and fires if it's less than the firing distance. Then, if the player steps out of the view radius of the enemy, then it moves to a search state where the enemy searches the last seen position of the player, and if no player is spotted on the enemy reaching there, then it returns to its spawn position. So uh, as of now, this is the progress we have made. We're also planning to add a melee attack component and uh, a much more defined projectile component, like separate components for both maybe. Then also we are planning to make the AI more smarter and polished, and we are planning to. I'll be mainly working on changing this uh, idle state to a patrol state. Like there will be like multiple patrol points where the enemy can move between them. So also I'll be working on making a common database for storing like different values of enemies. So that's about it. So stay tuned.
So in the art department, we've been working mainly on character designs for the two playable characters, as well as for a first enemy design, just to have an idea of how all the enemies could look. Now we're moving on to environment design, some concepts and color keys to have a general idea of how the whole place is gonna look, which is gonna be really fun, as well as working on some conceptualization for the playable characters' animations, for their attacks and movement, just to get an idea of how it can all look like put together.
Hello, this is Alex. Critical asked me to record the Devlog like on my own, like separately. So here I am. I got a solid start for the main menu theme. It's nothing crazy right now. Just in the devlog I mentioned, the last devlog I mentioned that I was working a lot more with distortion, and I kind of wanted to keep that trend, so I have some stuff going on here. I'll play this little chunk. Ignore this over here. I'm not working with that yet, but when I extend all of this, I'll end up incorporating this. So for now, I'll just play what's like the mostly finished stuff, but everything here is subject to change. That's basically all it is right now. I guess for breakdown in terms of what's actually going on here, I got like my bass tones up here. This is just how they sound isolated. Nothing too crazy there. There's like 3 or 4 synths going on to create that. It's doing its job. I found this like these drums that are going on here. I found this nice sample pack. I was messing with that a little bit. I'll probably mess with it more, but we'll see. This is just and yeah, just like industrial sounds. And then down here I got like these like pad bass tone love child things going on. Nothing too crazy there. Over here I've got like, I actually love this synth, but I've got this synth going on over here. And right here, what it's doing like that in and out thing, basically to put emphasis on this little part, like, so like, and obviously all together it sounds much better, but in it kind of, you start to have like the bass tones up here get choppy. The drums I decided to leave just as the samey loop, and yeah, that's basically it. expect things to change by the next devlog. I did start working on like a combat theme that I'll probably stick to, but I'll save that for whenever devlog I end up putting that in. I just gotta basically finish this up. This is what I've got so far. It'll probably not take too long to make it something good. Most of the time in making these tracks really is just like coming up with the idea to start with, and after that I can pretty much just keep working off of what I have. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna head out then. Alright, bye!
Alright, well, I guess it is devlog time. So, my name is Sean. I am the sound designer for Ravenous. And I've been working on some of these sounds for Alone I Rise. And so I wanted to show you a couple of fireball sounds that I've been messing with. So, let me go ahead and play one of them. So this one's really cool. It's got a lot of layers. These two are kind of giving it like a really deep bassy resonance. And these are kind of giving that like movement, sort of like launch sound, and that's being done if we go in here using a plugin like Melodyne, which you just pitch and such like that. I'll kind of do this sort of move where you either have things descending or ascending. And really, it's hard to narrow down on what it does specifically to the sounds, but it does make it feel like it's going somewhere. So like an ascending one generally gets movement away, whereas a descending one can almost sound like it's coming closer. It's just like questions. Our brains are really good at hearing like a slight ascension or descension of notes. That's also why music is so enjoyable. And then actually there's a little bit of an accent. And then there's actually something about these sounds that I hadn't mentioned yet, and that is these were all made using my mouth. I actually recorded these in my bathroom with a towel over my head, and into my iPhone. So, it's not great audio quality, but I kind of wanted to do it as a proof of concept. You really don't need an insanely good mic to make these, crazy sounds. Really, it's about your imagination and what you're able to convince, a listener into. So I'll kind of take you through making another fireball sound in just a second. But first, let's go over to where I actually have these stored. So this is a thing called Soundly. And essentially, I've just recorded these all, like I said, using my iPhone speaker, and dragged them into Soundly, and then I kind of labeled them. And you hear a lot of them. So yeah, once again, none of it's crazy and amazing, but you could do a lot. You could really do a lot with not a ton of high-end crazy sound libraries and doohickeys that make a specific sound. So what I'm going to go through right now first that I like to do when making these is I kind of like having a low frequency sort of bass, something that'll kind of rise and make it feel energetic, like a powerful attack. So I have these like really sub-heavy sounds, kind of like this. this one. It's kind of like the shield sound from Halo. And then in Pro Tools, each DAW is different. In Pro Tools, you can time stretch things if you click up here. And so what I'll do is kind of drag it. We're making each of these sounds 5 seconds. I'm sorry, 6 seconds, my bad. And that's just to keep it all uniform. Make them all have the exact same sort of like attack and basic structure to them. So just keep that in mind. We're building within this box, even though sometimes stuff doesn't fit. For example, in here, some of it isn't going in the game, but still putting it there, layering it there, getting that idea, I found it helps me a lot. So obviously you'll hear, after importing it into this project, it sounds quite different than what I just did. That's because there's quite a few plugins running on this track. And I'm just going to pitch it down using Melodyne here. I'm going to pitch it yeah, like that. And then so now we have a much more inhuman sound. I think most people already at this point will listen to this and not immediately think that is somebody's mouth. There is a little click there at the end. Cool. Alright, so now that that's gone, we're going to add a little bit of a fade on it. Whoops. Cool. So we got our first sort of build. And another thing we can do to really kind of emphasize that building motion is start it low, and then as it progresses, boost it. It's like it's got more of a building feel to it. So now let's get actual, an auditory cue of movement, I'll call it. So like what I've titled here a launch. So we got this. I don't like that one. So like there we go. That's a nice like a build and quick sort of fling. So now our attack for the sound is right here, right where that launch seems to really peak. So I'll put this right here. Make it a little bit quieter. Cool. So we've already got a pretty like a standard sort of like fireball sound. It's got that fling to it. But I like making things a little bit juicier, making them as interesting as we can. And honestly, sometimes that's just taking a strange sound and throwing that secret sauce, if you will. So I kind of like how weird that is. But we will have to. I kind of like this as like a high-end transient within this sound. So we go into Melodyne right here, drag it up. Even higher. reference line where those kind of start up with our fireball sound. So now if we go from where we're starting, right here, so we got that. I will say on 13, so here you can see all of our plugins. I do think it would benefit from a little bit of compression. So we're going to throw the LA2A on it. This is a very nice compressor, very fun to use. I apologize for breaking everyone's ears right there. Wow, that is hot. Alright, so now we got that kind of high end, like sort of crunch to it. We are finally going to add a little bit of low. We got a sub. We're missing kind of that low end sort of push. And I think we want something a bit longer here to kind of carry this. So that could be fun. Let's stretch this and see what we got here. It's a little dramatic. I think got a little bit too much. And we'll add a fade on both the front and back of this. So, you know, it's pretty basic for now. I would still honestly, you know, I'd spice it up a little bit. One thing I've found to be pretty difficult when making a fireball sound with your mouth, you know, as opposed to like using fire, is the sort of like crackling sound that fire makes. You know, something like here. So I would, you know, try to add a little bit more of that crackling in our sound that we just made here. But it's, you know, it's got some fun movement. It took, you know, not long at all. And honestly, I find more sonically interesting than, you know, like a standard sort of fireball sound. So, anyways, you know, you got a lot of options for, you know, sound design, and I'm excited to really push, you know, what we can do with the sound in Alone I Rise. Yeah, in fact, actually, real quick before I go, let me just show some of the plugins I'm using. So I'm using Neutron 4 EQ on, you know, all of these. I don't know why I said 90%, all of them, because it is, in my opinion, the best EQs. Compression is really important for like kind of achieving inhuman sounds, because it really neatens up the frequency range of certain sounds, and that can really help. Chorus sounds are also great for that. I think this is the basic one that's included on Pro Tools. And then there's a couple other things, but really at the end of the day, you know, it was like I was saying, let your imagination kind of take you on a little ride, and you figure out what works for you. Alright, well, thank you guys, and I can't wait to do more work on this game.